Hi! Kumusta kayo po? Kuminsan nakakagalit, nakakatawa, at saka kuminsan din po nakakainis. Sometimes I feel like laughing. Sometimes I feel like angry. Sometimes I feel like just saying, tama na ito. Tapos na ito po. Pabayaan na yun sila. Ito po ang sitwasyon ngayon ng mga Pilipinos dito po sa Sabah. Hindi lang ako at saka ang mga kababayan ko po dito po sa Sabah. Sa Sabah is Malaysia, particularly dito po sa Kota Kinabalu. And of course, I think that the same thing also. Ang feelings, mixed emotion, ang mixed feelings ng mga Filipinos po dito sa Malaysia dahil tungkol what is happening dyan po sa Pilipinas. Sige pa po ang investigation and ang mga problema ng mga Filipinos dyan po. Nandyan ang typhoon natin, nandyan ang korupsyon, nandyan po ang mahal ng mga presyo natin. Ang cost of living sa Pilipinas, grabe po. Habang tayo, mga overseas Filipino workers dito po sa Malaysia, particularly dito po sa Sabah, and of course, ang mga iba-ibang pang mga overseas Filipino workers sa ibang parte ng mundo, we are striving, we are sacrificing, we are doing our level best para at least magbigay tayo ng magandang future sa mga loved ones na we left dyan po sa Pilipinas. And at the same time, habang nagtrabaho ang mga overseas Filipino workers, mga Filipinos po, sa labas ng bansa natin po, we are expecting na ang mga loved ones natin po, ang mga Filipinos dyan po sa Pilipinas, will also enjoy better public facilities. Dahil, if you look at it, ngayon, ang remittances sa mga overseas Filipino workers po, by the trillions na po, by the trillions na every year. And because of that money that we are remitting, po, malaking tulong na yan po. It's a big help to the economy of the country. But, unfortunately po, what is happening dyan sa Pilipinas, our money goes to, mga corrupt elected leaders natin po, corrupt legislators, corrupt lawmakers, corrupt government officials, corrupt contractors, and corrupt business sector. Hindi naman lahat po. But, ito na po, this is really what is happening. Kaya nga po, when we look at the progress of our beloved country, the Philippines po, medyo mahina talaga po. Because the Filipino people do not trust anymore the government. And if we don't trust the government po, so, what is next? We should change our leaders. Change the government po. For once and for all. Let's change the government. And let other people, other leaders to take over. Especially those leaders who sincerely sabihin natin, sincerely love our country. Sincerely wants to help our fellow countrymen in terms of looking after the welfare and interest of every Filipino po. Why can we do that? Instead of listening itong mga ongoing investigations po. And the way we look at it, because we don't trust the government. Majority of us, I myself, I will admit that there is a big question mark already when it comes to trust sa gobyerno natin po. Dahil nakita na natin po what is happening ngayon sa Pilipinas. Grabe po. What is happening sa Pilipinas. Ang corruption, graft and corruption. You just imagine, I'm sorry to say this, you just imagine, there was a 6.9 earthquake dyan po sa Cebu province early this week. It was a Monday evening, if I'm not mistaken po. And here comes our president the following day po saying that May lindol daw. Imagine, may lindol daw. You know what is the meaning of daw? Hindi pa niya alam po kung totoo ba may lindol. May earthquake that happened in Cebu City or Cebu Province po. So nobody, if based on his statements, it means nobody gave him the right briefing. Because if he knows, or if that person gave him the right, or the authorities concerned gave him the right briefing po, I don't think so President Ferdinand Bongbong Marcos Jr. will say, may lindol daw. See? And it took him, I'm not saying he's wrong, but it took him another day for him to go and visit the earthquake victims in the province of Cebu. I don't want to sabihin natin po compare. But we look at our president, the vice president. The vice president immediately, that evening, he learned about the incident po early in the morning, Tuesday. Nandyan na po si Vice President Inday Sara Duterte sa area or sa site of the destruction. Nag-umpisa na po siya to extend helping hands. Although ang presidente natin also good, ang rason niya is that mabuti pa issue the directive to all the concerned government agencies po to immediately dispatch all the necessary assistance to the victims instead of him going there. Baka ma-divide pa ang attention ng mga local authorities in terms of looking after the safety of the president and also looking after the welfare of the earthquake victims. Yan po ang rason niya po. Yan po ang rason niya. And would you believe, mga kababayan ko dito sa Sabah, maganda din ang intention po. According to some criticisms, maganda ang intention ng gobyerno. Send more rice dyan po sa area para may bigas ang mga tao po while facing these difficulties of earthquake. Ang mga biktima po. Maganda po, no? I really like that idea. But there is only one thing also I didn't like the idea. Kasi sabi ang DA, Department of Agriculture, when they announced, Bongbong Marcos or the President announced, the 20 pesos per kilo will be made available dyan po sa affected areas po. Sabi niya po, pwede na. We will send more rice dito po, tag at 20 pesos per kilo. Bakit hindi ba pwede po i-donate na lang yun muna with this kind of situation? Does it shows that wala na talagang pera ang gobyerno? Naubos na talaga ang pera ang mga contractor, ang mga government officials natin po, ang mga legislators natin po sa flood control projects. Because by the billions and trillions din po ang commission. Ito mga legislators natin po. Based on the information that we are receiving, we are gathering, or we are hearing from the Blue Ribbon Committee investigation, as well as the newly established Independent Commission for Infrastructure. Yun po, sabi nila po. Ang dami mga senators involved. Ang dami mga congressmen involved. All the allegations pa lang yan po. No? But 100%, there was ghost projects. There was projects, substandard projects po. And then here comes the earthquake. Sa mga earthquake victims, the government will be saying or said that, okay, we will provide you with rice but at 20 pesos per kilo lang. Why? Hindi ba pwede po sacrifice din ang gobyerno po? Give free rice Kasi what the people needs is food, water, and other basic facilities po. Such as electricity, water, pagkain po, blankets, shelter. Masaya pa ang gobyerno mag-announce na okay, 20 pesos per kilo. Parang naging negosyo po. Nagnegosyo pa po sa mga earthquake victims. But anyway, we will talk about it later on. Later on. Sabado ngayon, relax tayo ng kunti. And of course, sa mga kababayan ko dito po sa Malaysia, dito po sa Sabah, of course, nandito si Nick Talk, the Real Talk with Nico, to give you ang mga latest updates or may mga news tayo para sa inyong lahat dito sa Sabah or dito po sa Malaysia. Because I know not everybody is enjoying holiday ngayon po, Sabado, no? Weekend holiday po. Not everybody. Some of our kababayan po is still a working half day. And others, maybe full day pa po. Habol sila sa sweldo po so that they will be able to send money to their loved ones dyan po sa Pilipinas. Kaya nga nandito si Nick Talk, the Real Talk with Nico, to give you this kind of program, Nick Talk, the Real Talk with Nico, para kung sakali mamaya, you're free na kayo po during lunchtime or after work po, you can review, playback itong channel natin po and be updated on what is happening dyan po sa Pilipinas. So, ingat lang tayo po, ang mga kababayan natin sa Pilipinas, kasi you are also experiencing another heavy downpour, although umalis na yata, no? On the way na or umalis na si Typhoon Paulo. Sana lang po walang malaking distraction po dyan sa Typhoon Paulo po, no? Paulo. Dahil mahirap na po ang mga tao sa Pilipinas. Mahirap na ang mga tao sa Pilipinas. Okay, if we want change, kasi galit na tayo. Everybody is shouting, mga Filipinos, majority of the 140 million population of the Philippines po. Maybe 2/3 or more or almost all are shouting now, tama na. Enough is enough. We want change. We want change. We are fed up with the graft and corruptions. Ikulong natin ang mga corrupt. Ikulong natin. Put them in jail, all those responsible or involved in this graft and corruption anomalies. Yun po. Yun ang sigaw natin, di ba? So, do you agree? Do you agree na kailangan talaga po lahat mag-resign? Lahat mag-resign po. And let's start a brand new government. Let's start a transition government po. Para matapos na ito po. Kasi nakita natin, although not all senators are corrupt, not all congressmen are corrupt, but because not all government officials are corrupt, but because what we saw and what is happening now po, trust to the government, wala na po. Siguro mayroon na lang punti, pero wala na po. Although nakita natin mga survey po, coming from kung kaninong survey yan po, mataas daw ang survey ni President Bongbong Marcos. We were not born yesterday. Tell it to the Marines. Yon mga tao po dito sa Malaysia o dito sa Sabah po. That's how we feel. That's how we think. But anyway, no less than the former the former defense chief ng Pilipinas po. Si Honorable Roberto Nograles, siya din mismo po during a statement, a media statement po, interview dyan po sa Pilipinas, he is one person, one leader din po, who's calling for a total revamp or total resignation of the government. Of the government. Let's listen itong video clip that I have prepared para sa inyong lahat po. Si former Defense Chief Norberto Nograles. Norberto Nograles po. Alright, sandali ha. Sandali. Norberto Nograles, sana yun? Alright. Okay. Okay, nandito po. Let's listen to former Defense Chief Norberto Nograles.
Ika nga wala ng pag-asa yung nangyayari sa politika natin. Kaya kailangan lahat ng nasa politika, kailangan nasa pwesto ngayon. Mas maganda magsipag-resign lahat. This was the statement made by former Defense Secretary Norberto Gonzales in an exclusive interview with SMNA News. His remarks stem from the widespread corruption in the country, allegedly involving government officials themselves. It can be recalled that former DPWH Assistant District Engineer Bryce Hernandez revealed that they have delivered bags of cash at Shangri-La in Taguig and at the residence of former Representative Saldico in Valle Verde, Pasig City. Following this, Coast former security aide Orly Regala Guteza also disclosed that they likewise delivered trolleys of cash to Martin Romualdez. Earlier, Gonzales said that corruption has become ingrained in the Philippine government system, which is why even with repeated changes in leadership of the Senate Blue Ribbon Committee, Filipinos will still not achieve the justice they long for. Kahit ilang palit ang pamumuno ng Blue Ribbon Committee sa tingin ko sa ngayon, hanggang hindi nila iniisip na dapat nang palitan totally ang sistemang politika, doon pa rin ang mangyayari, may proteksyon mangyayari, may damage control na mangyayari. Hindi lalabas ang tunay na katotohanan na hinahanap ng taong bayan sa ngayon. Thus, he suggested replacing the current political system of the Philippines by having all those in the present administration step down from their positions, and he said this should be led by President Ferdinand Bongbong Marcos Jr. Yung resignation ng lahat ay isang napakagandang masasabi natin. Halimbawa, na may papakita natin sa taong bayan na kasi ang gusto ng taong bayan, pagbabago na eh. Ang pagbabago hindi mangyayari kung piraso-piraso. Nag-resign si ito, may nag-resign dyan. Dapat yung buong sistema mag-resign sa ngayon para mabigyan ng pagkakataon na magkaroon tayo ng panibagong political system. Ako nga sana kung yung Pangulo natin, siguro dapat siya ang magsimula eh. Ikayatin niya na ang buong gobyerno na mag-resign para makapagsimula tayo ng panibago. Politicians in the Philippines should follow the example of other countries where leaders voluntarily step down from their positions once their constituents are no longer satisfied with how they govern. Kasi sa ibang bansa, hindi na sana natin kailangan mangyari yung mangyayari sa atin mag-people power pa eh. So, sa ibang bansa, pag nawala ng confidence ang mga mamamayan sa gobyerno, nagre-resign ang gobyerno. Ay dito sa atin, ipinaglalaban pa. Eh alam mo naman, bulok na bulok na eh. Kailangan ng palitan. Although Gonzales admitted that it will not be easy, he believes that a transition government composed of individuals with sufficient knowledge and capability will pave the way for genuine reform. May mga tao tayo sa lipunan na kayang gawin ang tama. Hindi lang natin binibigyan ng pagkakataon. In a transition government, sana pamunuan ng tama. Ang dapat natin ilagay dyan yung mga nakakaintindi. Ang dapat natin pag-isipan yung tinatanong mo, kung resign lahat dyan, anong mangyayari? Dapat magkaroon ng transition period. Dapat magkaroon ng transition government. Dapat yung gobyerno na yan, alam nila ang fundamentals. Ano dapat gawin? But according to him, if the current officials do not do this, hindi natin mapipigil ang people power. Walang nakakapigil ang people power eh. Hindi naman yan na-organize eh. Lumalabas yan sa damdamin ng taong bayan. At ako naniniwala, very soon, we will have people power. For God and my beloved Philippines, Anmar Forsualo, SMNA News.
Alright, yun po ang report po ang segment ni former Defense Chief si Norberto Gonzales. I totally agree po. No? I totally agree. Lahat ang mga opisyales ng Marcos administration, starting from the President himself, step down na kayo po. No? Step down na kayo po. No? Para at least we will solve this problem already. Ang dami pa mga Pilipino. honest and sincere in trying to help ang bayan natin po to progress. We want a transition government. Huwag na tayo maghintay po, mag-people's power pa ulit, no? And nakita na natin po last September 21, ang daming tao po. It's already a loud message para sa administrasyon ni Ferdinand Bongbong Marcos Jr., ang presidente natin po, na the people, he himself even said, kung hindi lang ako presidente, I will join the rallies. Siya yung mismo sabi po. In other words, para sa akin po, konbensido din ang presidente po na grabe na ang sitwasyon ng graft and corruption dyan po sa Pilipinas. Kawawa ng mga Pilipinos po. Why don't we follow the steps taken by other leaders, ang neighboring countries natin po, no? Ang mga ibang nasyon, mga prime minister, mga presidente po, like for example in Japan, no? The moment nakita ang leader that wala nang trust sa kanila, ang mga tao nila po, then they will, they immediately step down po. Step down. Bakit dito sa Pilipinas? We cannot do that. We don't do that. Dahil po ang corruption. Isip nila, may power ako, may pera ako, may mga tao pa rin ako nagsusupport sa akin, why should I step down? Why should I step down? Ito mga Filipinos, they are forgiving people. They love ang nasyon ng Pilipinas. Why should I step down? They will forget it. After 1 month, 2 months, 3 months, they will forget it. Ang issue po. So, I will not step down. Diyan po na mali kayo po. Ang Marcos administration. Galit na po ang mga Filipinos, and do not wait until we will have another people's power. People's power po. Especially, I'm sorry to say this, especially, ang president natin, si President Ferdinand Bongbong Marcos po, tarnish ang pangalan ng Marcoses dyan pa sa Pilipinas 30, 35 years ago, 40 years ago po. Dahil of the late former President Ferdinand Marcos Sr. Now the Filipino gave another chance for Bongbong Marcos to save the name of the Marcoses. But ano nangyari ngayon po? What is happening? A lot of issues sa kanya. From droga, from being weak leader, no? From the allegations of the interference of the First Lady, si First Lady Liza Araneta Marcos. Ang first cousin niya po, si former Speaker Martin Romualdez. Kontrolado siya po sa Kongreso, House of Representatives. Lumabas na po ang mga issues na tungkol sa mga congressmen. Congressmen po natin sa House of Representatives, ang mga kalukuhan nila. We have seen, we heard na they got rich, filthy rich po, dahil nasa posisyon sila. Mga bahay nila po, left and right, dyan sa Pilipinas, abroad, ang mga anak nila po, enjoying life. Ang mga government officials natin po in cahoots with these legislators, spending money left and right like water. At the same time, playing in the casino, losing millions if not billions of money po. These are the money of taxpayers' money yan po. Pera ng bayan yan po. And wala nangyari. Nothing is happening. No? Investigation after investigation. Sa totoo lang po, there is a joke dito po sa Malaysia, dito po sa Sabah, sa mga Filipinos po. Alam na lahat ng mga Filipinos, majority of the Filipinos knows na guilty na yun sila. Ikulong na itong mga corrupt politicians, corrupt government officials, corrupt contractors po. We already know. Pero ang mga investigador lang natin po, they still don't know. Ang Blue Ribbon Committee, ang House of Representatives, ang Independent Commission for Infrastructure. Sila na lang po, kunti na lang sila hindi alam ang katotohanan. Either that they don't know or they are covering, they pretend that they don't know. Yun po. That's how ang mga Filipinos ngayon. That's how we feel. That's how we look at this situation. So tama na. Tama na po. May mga senador, you see, ang Blue Ribbon Committee, left and right, pointing fingers from one senator to the other senator. Ang mga congressmen, congressmen po, they cannot even, they don't even dare to, mayroon daw mga they invited already si former Speaker Martin Romualdez po sa hearing. Yun po ang news nila po, no? They invited, or they will be invited, or they already invited. That includes also former Congressman Saldico. But hindi na natuloy ang investigation po. So what for invite them? Wala naman investigation. Nandito ng investigation ang House of Representatives. Diyan po sa Blue Ribbon Committee, sa Senado po. What happened? Parliamentary courtesy. Hindi daw pwede mag-invite. Or they will invite, but depende na lang po. Kung papayag ang speaker, ang bagong speaker, si Speaker Faustino D. Kung papayag siya pupunta si former Speaker Martin Romualdez sa hearing ng Blue Ribbon Committee po. Wala. When we talk about Saldico, why until now hindi sila nano po na-cancel ang passport ni Saldico, Mr. Saldico. Kaya nga, free man si Saldico from one country to the other country. Kasi buhay pa ang passport niya. Kung totoo talaga gusto nila po ang gobyerno. The moment they heard about these allegations po, sana immediately they did something. Sa ngayon, no guarantee, and I don't think so, Saldico is coming back. And there are rumors lang ito po, no? May plano daw si Speaker Martin Romualdez, former Speaker Martin Romualdez to leave the country. But I don't think so po, he will do that po. Kasi ngayon, ang mga tao po, the moment he will do that, grabe na po. It will aggravate ang suspicion ng mga tao po sa Marcos administration. No less than the elder sister of President Bongbong Marcos already mentioned na even ang nanay nila po is not happy with what is happening. The way how President Bongbong Marcos is managing the country. Yun po, according to Senator Amy Marcos. So, ano ba? Here comes very vocal in criticizing sa mga opposition po. Si Senator Risa Hontiveros regarding itong mga flood control projects, and mayroon na news lumabas. Although it has yet to be proven na mayroon po. Insertions din ito si Senator Risa Hontiveros amounting to 3.035 billion pesos. And out of the 3.035 billion pesos, may 700 something million related sa flood control projects. Yun po. So ano ba ito? Hanggang dito na lang ba? Salita ng salita na lang tayo. Okay. Let me share with you itong video clip yun, Dos por Dos, naalala niyo po, Dos por Dos television program, public service program ni Katonying and Mr. Baha, no? Nandito po, and they were talking about the issue of Senator Risa Hontiveros. Nandito po. Let's watch this video clip po. You listen carefully dito po.
Ano pala, kaugnay ito, Senator Risa Hontiveros, totoo bang meron kayong insertion na 750 million sa inyong sa budget nitong taon na to? Hindi ako makapaniwala eh. Kumbachero, hindi ako makapaniwala na may flood control insertion si Senator Risa Hontiveros hanggang ngayon. Hindi ako makapaniwala kasi ito, kahit na sinabi ko na sa'yo, kumbachero, kahit ako pa nagsabi, parang mas gusto kong masakit naman yan, kumbachero. Sige, naniniwala na. Ayoko nasasaktan ka. Hindi kaya po hindi ako makapaniwala sapagkat si Senator Risa Hontiveros ay bumoto ng against dun sa BICAM report. Di ba, Neko niyan, may ratification ng Senado. Pagkatapos ng BICAM report, ibabalik sa Senado at pagbobotohan, iraratify. Dalawa sila hindi bumoto eh. Si Senator Risa, saka si Senator Coco Pimentel, pareho silang opposition. Nasa minority. Kaya hindi ako makapaniwala na meron siyang insertion. Baka ang flood control ha. Na flood control. Baka iniisip niya hindi, ano lang to yun ang ceremonial function lang ng opposition. Ganon? Baka ganun. Ministerial sa ministerial. Kaya lang, yun nga hindi kaya may ibang nagparking din kay Senator Risa? Wala naman siyang garahe. Ikaw nga magpaliwanag, Senator Risa. Bakit nga ba? Senator, pero hindi natin nilalagyan ng Malaysia yung pagkakaroon niya ng flood control na parang ang ibig sabihin kasi ngayon pag nagkaroon ka ng flood control project sa iyong insertion, nangungumisyon ka na kagad eh. Kaya nga yun yung ating sinasabi. But to be fair kay Senator Risa Hontiveros, hindi lang 750 million ang kanyang insertion sa flood control. Hindi, sa buong budget, nasa 3 point, ano siya? Mahigit 3 billion. 3.01 billion. 1 billion, ano? Patingnan ko na nga. Sige, ikaw na masyado. Hindi ako makapaniwala. Hanggang ngayon, hindi ako makapaniwala. Risa Hontiveros, mga magulang at mga mahal na mga taga-subaybay, ang kanyang kabuuang budget. Saan mo ba nakuha yan? Para sa 2025. Natawagan mo na ba, Yuel? Natawagan mo na ba? Ito. 3 billion, 3.035 billion. 3 billion, 35 million, and then 800,000. Yun ang insertion. Yung amendment. Yung insertion or amendments. Tapos ang kanyang flood control insertion ay nasa 700 million. Nasa 750 million. Ayun. Pakitanong nga natin. Na-parkingan lang siya ng iba eh. Nailagay sa pangalan niya pero hindi naman pala sa kanya. Hindi ba? May mga ganun eh. Kaya ganun yung ating contention sapagkat halimbawa kung Bachero, may mga idinedeklara po ngayon ang ilang investigador. Ano? Investigador. Ang mga taga-ICI, taga-ICC. ICC. Taga-ICI nga. ICI. Mga taga pati sinabi ng Pangulo, submit, di obligado mag-submit dun sa sumbong sa Pangulo. Yung mga coordinates ng mga proyekto. Alam niyo po ba mga kababayan kung nakikinig kayo sa Senado? Napakarami. Libo daw po yung mga proyekto na mali yung nandun sa DPWH Central na coordinates.
Ayun na nga.
At pag pumunta ka dun sa opisina ng District Engineering Office, kumpadyero, tama yung coordinates. Kaya pag ang pinagbatayan mo ay yung coordinates na nandun sa Central Office, hinanap mo dun sa lugar, walang project.
Walang project.
Pero
Alright, yan po. Narinig natin, no? Narinig natin. Yon conversation ng program ni Dos por Dos. So, ganito po, no? Ito ang problema natin dyan sa Pilipinas. Mayroon mga senador and totoo ba yun? I think, mayroon ako dito ang reply or answer ni Risa Antoveros about itong allegation sa kanya po. And she denied it. She denied it po. Sabi niya hindi totoo. Hindi yan totoo po. Ha? Okay. But lumabas itong klaseng istorya po. No? If there is no fire, there is no smoke. Diba? No fire, no smoke. Do you believe? Ganon yun po. Kaya nga, if you look at it, on top of it, command responsibility. At the end of the day, when we are talking about the 2025 budget insertions po, amendments, hindi naman lahat ng mga amendments or insertions are bad. Kaya sabi ni Senator Amy Marcos na mayroon din siyang mga insertions dyan po. And ang intention niya po is to use that money to give more assistance to the senior citizens natin dyan sa Pilipinas. So that is one example. Hindi naman lahat ng mga insertions are bad insertions or amendments po. No? But we want to know ano talaga yun po. Especially itong mga flood control projects. Sa mga insertions related to flood control projects po. Because if it is related to or involving itong flood control projects, then malaking question mark din po. Malaking question mark din po. Malaking question mark din po. And kailangan, the President himself signed the 2025 national budget, which has been identified or criticized and described as the worst national budget in the history of the Philippines po. And sino-sino mga involved dyan po? Involved dyan si former Appropriation Committee Chairman, a congressman, now already resigned, si Saldico. And sino ang speaker? Si former Speaker Martin Romualdez po. Nag-resign din po. Nag-resign din po. But, it doesn't mean that nag-resign na sila po. So, wala na sila. We cannot humble sa kanila. We want explanation coming from them. What really happened? And saan nagpunta ang mga pera? Remember, prior to the midterm election 2025, left and right ang mga donations. Mga ayuda po. Mga ayuda. And who are giving this mga ayuda sa mga voters, sa mga Filipinos po, ang mga congressmen, which is not their job. Their job is to make laws, not to distribute ayudas. Kasi mayroon na tayo ang Department of Social Welfare to do that. At saka mga local NGOs natin. But during those days, ang mga congressmen po hanggang nagulo talaga po. No? Like what happened, I'll give you a very good example dyan po sa Zamboanga City. If you don't support ang administrasyon ni Romualdez po, then itong budget for ayuda po, will not give you. And it really happened po during the time of former congressman of Zamboanga City for District 1 and who is now the mayor of Zamboanga City, si Mayor Kimer Olaso. To the extent he even publicly kneel down and beg for that ayuda para sa mga tao niya po, constituents niya po. But, wala nangyari. And the time, sana lang po, we were expecting, kami dito sa Sama po, Filipinos, we were expecting kasi from Zamboanga City, maganda ang natin po, ang backup natin sa House of Representatives because during the time, ang majority leader sa House of Representatives comes from Zamboanga City. And that is no less than ang former majority leader of the House of Representatives, si former Congressman Manix Dalipe. Manix Dalipe po. Okay? Alright, let's move on. Ano pa? Mayroon tayo dito. Let's see, ha? Hanap tayo yon statement na coming from tingnan natin, ha? Kung mayroon ba tayo dito. Hold on for a while. Sandali lang po. I think maganda din ito po if I'm going to share with you itong balita. Parang nahirapan na tayo makuha itong balita, ha? Sandali. Alright. Hold on. Give me 1 or 2 seconds. Hold on. Ito po. Alright, nandito na po. Sandali. Cue natin ito. Ito po ang sagot ni Senator Risa Hontiveros po, no? When it comes to the issue po, ang issue tungkol sa her insertions sa 2025 national budget. According to her, Senator Risa Hontiveros maintained on Friday, that was yesterday po, she had no budget insertions in the bicameral conference committee that made the final and controversial 2025 national budget bill in response to rumors that she did. The rumors of an alleged insertion of 3 billion pesos in the budget, with 750 million pesos of that for flood control projects, spread online after being floated on a radio show yesterday. On X, a former Twitter, Hontiveros, the Senate Deputy Majority Leader, categorically denied participating in insertions and stressed she opposed both the bicameral conference committee report and the budget bill at the Senate. Totoo naman yan po. No? I think dalawa lang sila yan po. They did not sign. Si former Senator Coco Pimentel and si Senator Riza. I have no BICAM insertions, none in the unprogrammed funds, period. I did not sign the BICAM and I voted no to the controversial 2025 budget, sabi ni Senator Hontiveros. Hontiveros said her budget suggestions went through the proper process. Alright? Do not believe in fake news and wrong information. All the amendments to the budget that I recommended went through the proper process and were approved by the Senate. The BICAM has been a hot topic since the passage of the 2025 national budget because of lack of transparency in the closed-door meeting. Yan po. Let's see po, no? This coming days po, next week, let's see po kung ano mga latest developments tungkol itong allegation against Hontiveros. Hontiveros po, no? Let's see. And I will continue to monitor itong sabihin natin issue na ito po, hot issue ito po ngayon. And of course, the other issue po that I want to touch sa programa natin ngayon is tungkol itong si former Senator Laila De Lima. No? And she's now a party list elected congresswoman. No? She earlier, was it yesterday, she mentioned that she's not happy why Vice President Inday Sara Duterte failed to attend the budget hearing of the Office of the Vice President last October 1st ba yun? No? October 1st ba yun? Yeah. Importante daw yan po. No? Importante daw yan po. And this only shows something po, suspicious. Why si Inday Sara o Vice President Inday Sara failed to personally attend itong OVP budget hearing. And she said, si Congresswoman De Lima, she said that she will try to see kung pwede, try to convince ang mga colleagues na po to go for zero budget for the office of the Vice President. Zero budget for 2026. Tingnan natin po kung kaya ba yun si Congresswoman Laila De Lima, no? But based on my knowledge and based on the news that I received, no, monitored coming from the Philippines po, first thing first po, si Inday Sara Duterte, just like the President, si President Ferdinand Bongbong Marcos, during budget hearing of the offices, President and Vice President officers po, they are not obliged to attend the budget hearing. Yun po, klarong-klaro yan po. Tradition yan po natin dyan po sa Pilipinas po. In fact, if you look at it, you based on tradition and histories and records po, madali lang po mag-approve ang budget ng Presidente at saka ng Vice President. Yun po, ang unang-una po. She's not obliged. If she wants to attend, can. And she refused to attend, okay din yun po. Okay din yun po. Yun ang Constitution. Okay, the other thing is that saludo din ako kay Inday Sara Duterte dahil instead of, since she knows already that it is not obligatory for her to physically attend the budget hearing ng Office of the Vice President po last October 1st, if I'm not mistaken. Tuesday ba yun? No? Or Monday ba yun? Now, what she did was, she decided to go and give the necessary assistance, help to the earthquake victims dyan po sa Cebu. If you remember, it was reported po as early as Monday morning because I think that the earthquake happened September 30 in the evening at 10 something. So, the following day, early in the morning po, nandoon na po si Inday Sara Duterte. Personally, physically, nandoon na siya po sa Medellin ba yun? Attending to the earthquake victims. Attending to the earthquake victims. First day yun po. And then the following day, she also went to Bogo City po. Same thing. To extend help, bringing food, water, and other assistance po coming from the Office of the Vice President. Immediately po. Immediately. When that news was reported nationwide, immediately po ang Office of the Vice President, agad-agad po, they went and extend helping hands. Wala pa po ang assistance coming from the President. But let's not compare po. Ang importante dyan po na assistance were immediately given to the needy. to the victims po. No? And she personally, nakita natin sa mga news reports, sa video, sa TV, social media po, na she even personally went and extended condolences, personal condolences to the relatives of the victims who passed away, who died during the earthquake. Mayroon tayong reported something like 72. 72 death as a result of the 6.9 earthquake that hit the province of Cebu. So saan ba importante po? You are not obliged. In fact, you're not obliged. May mga tao ka dyan, you can assign to attend ang budget hearing, and then being the president, the second top official ng country natin po, nagpunta siya po, she decided not to attend the hearing, but she decided to go and look after the welfare ng mga earthquake victims. Diyan po, saludo ako po. That is the reputation of the Dutertes. Kaya nga po, you cannot blame kung ang mga tao po, they still love ang mga Dutertes. Kasi, yun po, ever since nagpasok ang tatay ni Inday Sara Duterte, si former President Rodrigo Roa Duterte, or we call him Tatay Digong, who is now nasa under the custody of the International Criminal Court or ICC po dyan sa The Hague, Netherlands. Yun po, that is normally what he does during calamities. Yolanda lang po, si Tatay Digong yung po unang-una nagpunta doon sa Yolanda disaster to extend helping hands po. Dumating din si last Wednesday ba yun? Dumating din si President Ferdinand Bongbong Marcos to extend helping hands dyan po sa mga biktima ng earthquake. Pero mayroon din po, some people are not happy, although you cannot expect everybody will be happy with the movements of the President. Pero one the very glaring issue that they raise is that bakit daw po, instead of just giving a free rice sa mga victims, apart from the food lang, the government has prepared, nag-announce pa sila po ang Department of Agriculture na they will be sending more rice sa affected areas po, and so that ang mga tao po can buy the rice at the 20 pesos per kilo. Bakit daw po hindi nagbigay na lang muna free? Because they are staying po hindi sa bahay nila po, outside the streets. Karamihan ng mga affected residents sa mga affected areas po, they don't dare to go back to their houses dahil of the sabihin natin tuloy-tuloy pa rin ang aftershocks ng earthquake. So yun po ang sitwasyon. Alright? So yun ang mga issues that I want to touch today sa programa natin, Nick Talk, The Real Talk with Nico. And before I will conclude itong program natin Saturday, October 4, siguro po I will share with you another ano ba ito? Issue po, no? Another issue about ito corruptions, graft and corruption sa Pilipinas. Remember, I think before the election last year po, ang mayor ng Zamboanga City, during that time he was the District 1 Congressman of Zamboanga City po. Si Mayor or Congressman, lagyan natin Congressman Kimer Olaso, he was the one who came out openly to say that kailangan na talaga po to impose ang death penalty by hanging. Hanging pa yun. That time, no? Sabi niya, death penalty by hanging ang those involved in corruption issues. That includes also ang illegal drugs distribution sa Pilipinas. So, I think this morning or yesterday ba ito, nag-interview sa kanya ang one television program, Politico Nightly, sa Bilyonaryo Network. And let's listen to the interview po regarding the death penalty na raised doon ang mayor ngayon ng Zamboanga City, si Mayor Kimer Olaso. Nandito po.
Why, Congressman, yung death penalty at ngayon po laganap yung mga alleged corruption, ongoing ang investigation. Ano pong masasabi ninyo? Sa tingin niyo po panahon na po talaga at kayo po as mayor, paninindigan niyo pa rin po ba itong death penalty sa mga convicted corrupt officials, Mayor?
Well, sa aking pananaw, sinulong ko pa yun nung ako'y kung nasa Kongreso. Habang nung nasa barko pa ako, dahil sabi ko palang araw, pag naging opisyal ako ng syudad o maging congressman, mababatas ako, ito ang isusulong ko. Kasi ito yung karapat-dapat para sa ating mga kababayan, na mga politicians, mga government officials na mga corrupt. Ito yung dapat para sa kanila. Alam niyo po, yung Pilipino, pag hindi nasampulan, hindi po hihinto. Pero kapag may nasampulan na po tayo dyan, hihinto at hihinto pa rin po yan.
Diyan ba sa area mo, Mayor, may mga check bang masasampulan dito sa firing squad na ipinanukala niyo dati?
Well, alam niyo naman po, pag malalaman natin tulad ng conversation of big funds, then ito yung mga ghost project dahil yan, dapat sampulan kasi alam niyo po, tagal-tagal na nila sa posisyon. Ako, kakaupo ko pa lang po hindi ko nga alam kung ano mga nangyayari iba dahil hindi naman po pinapalam sa amin lahat, sa mga first timer na congressman. Hindi naman po pinapalam sa amin lahat. Kung bilang sabihin, nakatago, confidential po Kaya nakalungkot po, being a first timer congressman, at naintindihan ko po yung mga sentido ng mga mamabatas na hindi po nila alam kung anong nangyayari kasi that's very confidential. Sa loob lang sila na po may alam. Yung mga tinatawag na Magic 5 na congressman.
Alright,
Alright, yun po, si Mayor of Zamboanga City, Kimer Olaso. Earlier, he was questioned about kung mayroon ba daw mga anomalous construction projects dyan po sa Zamboanga City. Because earlier, it was reported that one of the development programs o projects dyan po sa Zamboanga City, yon International Convention Center dyan po sa Barangay Pasunangka po, hanggang ngayon po hindi pa natapos. It was not completed and involves millions of money po. And of course, the contractor was identified as those in the list of President Ferdinand Marcos when he released ang list ng 15 contractors po. No? 15 contractors. Diskaya yata yun po sa Zamboanga City. Now, according to the response of Mayor Kimer, sabi na po, hindi pa niya alam kasi bago pa lang siya nagiging mayor of Zamboanga City and now they are investigating. They are investigating po. No? Identifying kung saan talaga. But I remember, if I remember right po, I think 2 weeks ago, I also mentioned in my program, dito po sa Nico, Guerrilla Talk with Nico, and showed also a video clip po about the International Convention Center dyan po sa Zamboanga City. In fact, they used it before or during the COVID period po as a COVID center po, no? Ang International Convention Center. But hanggang ngayon po, hindi po yun natapos. So let's listen. Let's listen to the explanation of a mayor of Zamboanga City, Kimer Olaso, on the issue.
Sa Bilyonaryo News Channel. Kumusta ba kayo?
Noches buenas. Tama ba? Ang aking tsabakan. Baliktad. Alright. Mayor, ito po umpisahan na natin. Ano pong reaction nyo dun sa alleged ghost from to Market Road project dyan sa Zamboanga City na nabanggit po ni DA Secretary Chu Laurel?
Ako ay lubos na lulungkot po at naging ghost project po at hindi po nagawa yung project. Pero hindi ko lang matukoy kung saang distrito po kasi so far dito po sa distrito namin sa District 1 na-implement naman po yung project. But apparently yung ghost project hindi ko alam kung anong district po yun.
So, hinahanap pa. Hinahanap pa.
Hinahanap pa po.
Kung nasa.
Kaya nakakalungkot po kung nangyari man yun, nakakalungkot kasi dapat, hindi naman dapat ganun po. Dapat yung mga proyekto, dapat talagang ginagawa. Tulad nga dito sa amin, sa distrito ko po, alam nyo, sa kasalukuyan, wala po kaming pondo for 2025. Zero funding po ang distrito ko nung ako'y congressman, tinanggalan po ko ng pondo. Dahil nga yung nakalaban ko po yung dating majority leader, si Manix Talipe.
Oo,
So,
naralyado.
kalyado nila na po yun. Siyempre, gagawin ng lahat para itutumba ko. But then God is so good. No, siguro, what I can say is, it's a divine intervention na binigay sa atin na tayong pinanalo. In spite na wala pa kong pondo, even sa mga ayuda, like social amelioration program, wala pa ko natanggap, pinutulan ko tayo. Kung yung congressman na yung last time umuot mo, dahil humihingi ako na pras taong bayan yan, na dapat ibigay na po. Kaya ang nangyari po, hinul nila lahat
Alright, narinig natin po si Mayor ng Zamboanga City, si Mayor Kimer Olaso po, no? Ang mga issues, kung mayroon ba daw mga gross project dyan sa Zamboanga City, but as what I mentioned earlier, na controversial issue ito po, no? Big question mark itong project, ang Zamboanga City International Convention Center dyan po sa Barangay Pasunangka. Pasunangka po. So, sige lang. What I'm going to do is I will make sure, I'll make it also as one of my priorities po when I'm monitoring ang mga issues dyan po sa Pilipinas. So once again, I would like to say, ako mismo po, I totally agree na dapat po mag-resign na ang mga tao dyan po sa Marcos administration if we want to see real changes dyan po sa Pilipinas. For as long as itong mga tao, I'm sorry, maybe not all, but majority of them po, no, are still there, then I doubt if you can expect changes, real changes po sa Pilipinas. Let's follow the footsteps of other countries like Japan, South Korea, Thailand, you know. Do not wait for another people's power po because it will be very damaging to President Ferdinand Bongbong Marcos Jr. Nagbigay na sa iyo po ang mga tao a chance for you to redeem. But what happened? Parang wasted ang chance we gave to you and to your family. Wag lang sana po. You can still do something now. Can do something now. And pwede po transition government na po. So with this, siguro hanggang dito na lang po ang programa natin, TikTok, Dalia Talk with Nico. And shoutout muna tayo kay Mary Lou Pentocho. And of course, lahat ang mga those who are monitoring itong programa natin, October 4, Saturday ngayon po, and I hope that you will enjoy your weekend, Saturday and Sunday. And ingat lang tayo po, no? Because we are, dyan sa Pilipinas, mayroon pa rin kayong mga some areas dyan po still experiencing heavy downpour, like in Zamboanga City. Nakita ko sa mga social media po, kahapon, na you are also experiencing heavy downpour and other areas po. And let's not forget to also pray, hindi lang para sa mga earthquake victims, no, for the recovery, no, but also ang mga biktima din ng typhoon natin dyan sa Pilipinas. Dito sa Sabah, I would like to say, ang mga kababayan ko dito, mga Filipinos, dito sa Sabah, particularly dito sa Kota Kinabalu City po, ingat lang tayo po, no? Ingat lang tayo. Make sure that we do our responsibilities as employees properly po para maganda din po ang reputasyon ng Filipinos po. So far, maganda ang reputation natin. We are known for hardworking workers, no? Easy to communicate, caring, loving, and accepted tayo dito po sa Malaysia, dito po sa Sabah po ang mga ang host country natin po, ang mga tao nila, mga Malaysiano, no? In Sabah we call it Malaysians, but they are Sabahans. They are Sabahans, no? Also Malaysian yun po. So ingat lang tayo, and yes, I said we are experiencing downpour ngayon. So, ingat lang tayo po. When you want to go out, and make sure that you bring something to cover kasi umuulan po ngayon dito sa Kota Kinabalu. So, with this, I would like to say thank you very much for once again making me a part of your day today. Malaysia, Sabah, the Philippines, God bless us all. Take good care of yourself and enjoy your weekend. Bye.